What's up, everyone? It's your boy NornRed89 here, bringing you another video today. Here to talk about Netflix's series, the new series of Resident Evil, their live-action adaptation dropped on Netflix. I finished all the episodes. Here to talk about it, and I'm here to say it's not the worst thing. It really isn't the worst thing. The acting is very there. We'll get into more details as we get into it, but it's still not what we expected. As Resident Evil fans and hardcore fans of the games, it's still not going to be what you expect. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of this TV show. And of course, we're going to be talking spoilers today and all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't seen it, all the episodes are on Netflix right now. I don't know necessarily if I would say recommend go checking it out, but they're all currently on Netflix right now. Let's get into this. Roll it. So the new Resident Evil TV series currently on Netflix definitely takes a new approach. This is it's a sequel. I really didn't know too much going into this, but it's a sequel to the games. So the games that we've played as kids or like in the 90s and all that kind of stuff is canon to this show. And this show's kind of like a far-fetched like sequel deep down into the future, telling us what happens when there's a new Raccoon City that they build after the incidents and all that kind of stuff. And we follow our main character. Let's just get right into it. Lance Reddick plays Albert Wesker, and in this show, Albert Wesker has two daughters, Bobby and Jade. We're going to be kind of bouncing around all over with this review because it's just I got to rattle my thoughts off. But my first idea right off the bat is like, when you think of a Resident Evil show or you think of a Resident Evil movie, do you think of family drama? Do you think of sister squabbles? Do you think of just people struggling to fit in a society? Is that the kind of stuff you think of when you think of Resident Evil? I'm going to give you a fuck no on that. That's a hard F no. That is not any of the ideas I think of when I see Resident Evil. And that's kind of the main thing about this show is like, it's a problem. It's like, I feel like if this show wasn't called Resident Evil, if it just was its own property dealing with some other kind of zombies, in a different place, don't call it New Raccoon City, all that kind of stuff, change Wesker's name from Albert Wesker, just make it its own thing. This show would have been totally fine. But the fact that you attach the intellectual property of Resident Evil's name to this series, it's what really brings this series down. Because the acting, I'm going to tell you right now, acting is superb. There's some good acting in here. There's some good freaking dialogue in this show too. But the fact is, it's nothing that we want to freaking see in a Resident Evil TV show. Now let's get into more details about the TV show, because it does take place at two different timelines. It takes place in, I believe it's a past timeline before another incident when Albert Wesker and his daughters are younger, they're teenagers, and then there's a future timeline where we're following one of the daughters, Jade, in a the post-apocalyptic kind of world where there's very few humans left and the zombies have kind of run rampant. So we get two timeline things, and it's pretty much jumping back and forth, which is another negative for me in my book, is that you don't get to give any timeline real justice because we're bouncing back and forth, and the only reason that the future timeline's even there is to keep the action going, to keep the intensity amped up, because if it wasn't for that future timeline, we would have very, very, very little action in this TV show. But as I said, there are some positives I was raving about. Like, the acting is superb. Like, I don't necessarily think that the girls or Lance Reddick or even our other villain character that plays Evelyn in it, I don't think any of them are bad actors or actresses. They all do a great job with their characters. It's just their freaking characters are unlikable. They all suck, and they're all written poorly, and that's what's bad. Their portrayals are badass, on point, really good acting and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, the characters are written poorly, so you really hate them. And my favorite character is Richard Baxter. He's an Umbrella agent that works for Umbrella. Like this, oh man, he was amazing. He's the best character in this freaking show, and I'll spoil it right now. They fucking kill him off. And that's how shows work, man. Usually when I find a favorite character, the show usually always tries to find a way to kill him off. And when they did that, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, oh man, like this show, it misses on a lot of aspects. Like, one thing, we do have a lot of creature designs. We do have some good creature designs. The gore is there, and I think this show has some really good scare factor in the show. But the other elements of the show, the main story, all that kind of stuff, and a lot of the just characters, the way they're poorly written, and the fact that it's not a storyline that we're thinking to see as fans. This is nothing that a fan of Resident Evil wants to see. Like, if I was talking at a table, no fan of the Resident Evil franchise is like, yo, dude, you know what I want to see in a TV show? I want to see some sister family drama, dog, in a Resident Evil TV show. No, that's not what we want. That is not what we want. It's clearly written down and portrayed on screen with the games. They are cinematic masterpieces of themselves, and I don't know why creators can't just take those games and bring them to life very simply. So this is definitely a show that I think I will never easily, definitely, I can tell you right now, I will never return to this show. And that's what kind of sucks, is it does too leave you, like, we get to the end, it leaves on a cliffhanger ending, like, as these two sisters who are raised together find out this deep dark secret about their father, who they think is their father, Albert Wesker, and it just goes places. And like, there are good homages and little things that they put in here that reference the games or callbacks to the games or monster designs, but it's kind of like almost like jerking your chain, or just like playing with you. Like, especially when you think of it as a Resident Evil fan, you're just like, what the like, you throw this in here and it's like, you just can't give me what I want though, but you're gonna toss this stuff in here, like, what, to flex at me, to show me like, oh, we kind of listen to you. It's like, no, man, no, come on, man, like, don't do that, don't do that. And so this show, yeah, Resident Evil, the TV show, in my book, as a TV show, it's going to get a 5 out of 10. It's just a very average TV show. The reason it gets the 5 out of 10, to be honest, is because positives, it does have a lot of horror elements in it, and the gore effects and graphics and monsters are really cool. Like I said, the acting is really good. But our huge negatives is the story is nothing that I want. The characters are poorly written in general, just because they're unlikable, like that factor. And like I said, it's just the vibe wise, sometimes watching the show you kind of forget you're watching Resident Evil stuff. If they didn't have Umbrella's name dropped every now and then, here and there, a liquor in an episode, or the attack dog, like, you would have no freaking idea that this was a Resident Evil property show at all. So as you can tell, still my book, this is still an average TV show, but I don't recommend checking this out, really. Like, it's not, I like this a little bit, tiny bit hair better than the movie we got last year, Welcome to Raccoon City. I know they did try to give us more fan service and fanfare in that movie from last year, but it was totally fucking miscast, and that movie took forever to take off, and it sucked balls. So that's what I'm gonna tell you right now. So like I said, this is the show a hair, a tiny bit more enjoyment than that movie from last year, but still not enough. If you want some real good Resident Evil shit, like for real, go play the games, or go watch Resident Evil Degeneration, the animated movie, because it's better than any freaking live action movie that we've gotten so far. Thanks for sticking around with me all for this review of the Resident Evil TV series, currently on Netflix. If you've seen the series, let me know in the comment section what you think of it. I would love to hear if there are fans of this show out there. What are your thoughts? What do you like about that show, or like about this show? I would love to hear from all of you guys. Or if you didn't enjoy the show, like just like me, or in the same boat as me, let me know your comments and your thoughts and feelings. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing on the channel. Still have my Arrow video stuff coming. I'm hoping, it should be here this next coming week. It's Sunday right now, so hopefully this next week I'll be getting some of those Arrow video packages. Have a safe and happy day, everyone. Peace out.